Hello everyone, and welcome back to Sonic 3 and Knuckles on the SEGA Mega Drive. I am One Wild Sheep yet again, and today, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing Knuckles' portion of Marble Garden Zone. And Marble Garden Zone is... my opinion hasn't changed. The zone is pretty much exactly the same as I felt it was back when I did the initial Sonic run of the game. It's awful, I hate it, and playing as Knuckles just makes it a lot more awkward, because this stage is designed mainly with Sonic in mind, so a lot of the jumps are a lot more awkward with Knuckles, and for the most part this zone is relatively unchanged. Now, we do have certain areas we have to take as Knuckles as opposed to Sonic, because, well, Knuckles can't jump the same height as Sonic, and that's mainly his big handicap with the zone. So, yeah, just because... ignoring that, just because Knuckles jumps a little bit lower than Sonic, it just makes the zone a bit more tedious to cross, because we need to go through alternate means, and getting to those alternate means to finish this level is slightly trickier than you would expect. Okay, you know, I said ignoring it. I have to ask, because I need to fill up the commentary of this level somehow. There's not much to say about it. How the hell did I die? Did the hitbox just not update with the sprite or something? Because it was going up. It wasn't even... it was twice the size of my sprite when I died. I should not have died there. I am sorry. That is bull, game. That is bull. But I digress. Anyway, here's an instance, like I said before, where we can't quite make the jump as Knuckles, and there's gonna be quite a few instances of that in this level. Now, there's two ways we could deal with that. Well, actually, I think there's one way we can deal with this. We can either try and cheese our way up here by using Knuckles' glide jump, because whenever you do your glide, when you're Knuckles, if you slide on the floor at the end of a glide, you can actually completely break momentum. You can actually use the momentum of the glide to go uphill. So you can continuously mash the A button, and you'll fly, you'll slowly just sort of glide up the hill in a sort of, I must go now, my planet needs me sort of fashion, you know? And, I don't think it was designed to be like that, but I don't care. It's a nice way to cheese past slopes and stuff that tend to glitch out when you spin dash up, like that particular slope where I used the glide on right below. Because seriously, using the spin dash on this game, it's not the most reliable way to go up certain slopes, because the way some of these slopes are designed, they don't ease you into like a loop-de-loop or a slope or something. Some of them are really sharp, almost 90-degree corners. So doing a spin dash on them will just send you stopping in place, so it means you need to gain speed manually and you need to run up them. Otherwise the game will just be like, nope, you're not making it up here, and it's kind of annoying. But anyway, these face goons that we have to deal with, they're just the same as they were in Sonic's story. But, big buts, and I cannot lie, they're slightly... One in particular is pretty much impossible to take out with Knuckles, and I think there's one... basically we got a lot of puzzles involving these with Knuckles, because you can't get past them the traditional route. Well, I say that, but I think there's only one you really need to think about, because you can't get past it normally. The other one you just sort of hit, and there we go, we can now transform into Super Knuckles. And I don't know, I always love the animation of Super Knuckles when he transforms, you know, I always love the way that looks. But one thing that's interesting about Super Knuckles is, unlike Super Sonic, he does not change color. Oh no, Super Knuckles is the same color, he just glows a lot more, which... I don't know why they did that, you know, they probably could have turned him blue or something, or... screw it, just turn everyone gold. When you turn Super, you turn gold. That would make sense, actually, considering the fact that a lot of super forms in a lot of media these days. I think it might be Dragon Ball Z to blame for this, but whenever you think of super forms in a lot of games or films, you always think of like gold as the color. They always turn gold. So I'm surprised they didn't go with turning Knuckles gold for this, but I think it differentiates him a tad. But anyway, Super Knuckles is pretty much the same deal as Super Sonic. He's faster, he's I think he jumps a bit higher as well, and he runs slightly, you know, he runs faster overall. So Super Knuckles is essentially what do you expect him to be. You know, he's like Knuckles, but he is super. Oh my god. There is a Hyper Knuckles in this game as well, ladies and gentlemen, which we will be, I think we'll get. I say I think because I'm actually not sure if we do actually unlock Hyper Form Knuckles. But Hyper Knuckles is pretty much Super Knuckles with an added move and a slight buff to his speed yet again. So Hyper Knuckles isn't that big a deal. And if you're wondering about Tails as well, Tails doesn't have Tails does have a super form, but the Chaos Emeralds don't unlock Tails' super form. You need the Super Emeralds to unlock Tails' super form. But Tails' super form is what I like to call God mode, because everything on the game dies when you transform. Tails' super form is the most broken thing out there. And I am disappointed with Sonic Heroes, because they had a perfect opportunity to bring back Super Knuckles and Super Tails, and they didn't. Oh no, they just gave them shitty shields, you know. You could have given them a proper super form, guys, you know. Would that be so difficult, Sega? Would it? I mean, they even gave Tails and Knuckles, like, animations of Sonic Heroes. Like, when they transformed into super form in those games, their hair sort of floats upwards and Tails' tail sort of float up like they're in a super state. So my question is, why? You know, I don't know why Sega have this insist on making sure the Sonic's the only one that can go super, or Shadow can go super, or Blaze in that one, in those two instances, you know, and Silver in that one instance. It's always the Hedgehogs and that one cat to go super these days. They never allow the other characters to go super. Super Amy should see her day, god damn it. Honestly, I'd love to see a Super Amy, you know. If you make another 2D game at any point in Sega, if you're listening to me, I highly doubt it. But if you are listening to me, Sega, trust me, make a 2D Sonic game. No, you don't need to have perfect physics, just have physics similar to the classic games, you know, just have some momentum or stuff going on. And give every character a super form. I mean, that's one thing that annoyed me in Sonic 4 Episode 2, for example. Tails is in the game, Sonic's in the game, Tails doesn't get a super form while Sonic does. I guess it kind of makes sense because you need a Super Emerald in this game to get Super Tails, but come on, come on, Sega. You bring the other characters with super states. You don't even need to make them mandatory, you know, make them optional. That's what the Chaos Emeralds originally were anyway, optional collectibles that help you progress through the game and occasionally give you a slightly different ending. That's the whole reason they existed. To give you something to go for as an option, you know. And if you do get them, then boom, you can break the game. It's like a reward, you know. I like it. Then again, Sega have been going back to this optional sort of style with the Chaos Emeralds recently with Sonic Colors, Sonic Lost World. So I don't know. I think they I can't say too much about them about complaining about it's not an option anymore, because it's an option. You can transform these days. But I'm basically what I'm getting at, folks, is I want to see the other characters turn super. You know, I want Super Tails, I want Super Knuckles, I want Super Amy, I want Super Big the Cat, yo. Super Big the Cat would be the shit. Sega-based fishing would have nothing on that motherfucker. I tell you that much right now. Although I'm still one of the few people that like Big story. Although one thing I have to talk about with it sort of works in this game because this is actually a ROM hack for Sonic 3. Someone's actually done a ROM hack of Sonic 3 and turned it into a fishing game. I think it's called Big's Fishing Adventure or something. It's genius. I might show it off on the channel at some point in the future because it's just basically you get the ROM in an emulator, you know, all the usual jazz, and you play as Big the Cat, and you have to go through each zone fishing for Froggy. And it's actually a 2-player co-op versus sort of deal as well, so you can work against whoever's playing player 2, and it's just genius. You honestly check it out. I think it's called Big's Fishing Safari. Actually, here's something. Go on Mega G Wolf's YouTube channel because he does a lot of showcases of Sonic ROM hacks. Go on his YouTube channel and look for one of his videos of it. Trust me, it is just genius, you know? It's not as genius as, say, Sonic the Tank Engine, because that was just genius. Because in that ROM hack, basically they turned Sonic's face into Thomas the Tank Engine's face, and they replaced all the music in the game with Thomas the Tank Engine themes, so... Down, 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 bow, 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 down. You know, it's just... I love it. But anyway, this is the... Actually, I think I've shown off all of the bonus stages now. This is the last of the bonus stages, so you just jump into the middle, and you can either earn wings or something like that. 3 Eggmans is basically a load of spikes, and that loses 100 rings, ladies and gentlemen. If you get anything and if you get a jackpot and 2 of something, it'll count as getting 3 of a certain item. So if you get a jackpot and 2 Eggmans, for example, you're going to lose 100 rings. If you get a jackpot and 2 tails, well, you're going to gain like 20 or so rings, you know? It's just a slot machine. I can't say much about it. And I completely rinsed over, because I went off on a tangent earlier, the gumball minigame. Basically, self-explanatory with the gumball. You jump into the gumball, Bob's your uncle, but if you touch the bottom red springs on the gumball minigame, the bottom red springs only act as a safety. They disappear after you jump on them once, which means you can only use them that one time. Although I'm getting really confused by here. Basically, spinning on that blue thing will allow you to hit this thing over here, so I transformed. Well, I say transformed for no reason, but I have to climb up anyway. But basically, break that eye thing that iDude bought, the Wall Master. I don't know what they're called. Break the eye, and you'll be able to progress on. Now, I think we're getting pretty much right up to the boss fight now, and the boss fight for this particular act of Marble Garden Zone as Knuckles is completely different to Sonic's boss fight, ladies and gentlemen. Because if you remember Sonic's boss fight to the stage, we had to use Tails. We had to fly with Tails and hit Eggman at the right place. As Knuckles, oh no, we don't do anything like that. Because Knuckles' version of the boss fight, you have no means to fly. Tails doesn't come out of nowhere and is all like, yo Knuckles, I'm gonna give you a hand. No, Tails is a dick Knuckles, you know. Probably on account because Knuckles is such an idiot and Tails thinks Knuckles is gonna mess something up. But basically, the boss is going to drill into this room. Now, I advise standing just a bit off to the middle of the room, and you're usually generally pretty safe. And what will happen is the boss fight will come from the ceiling and the floor, and you can basically use where this chain thing. You can use this chain thing basically as your means to find out where he's going to land. He's honestly pretty easy, and if I didn't have super form on at the time, the boss fight would have been essentially the same, just longer. So, yay, I guess. But with that is Act 2 of Marble Garden Zone. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call it a part here. And when we return next time, we'll be returning in my least favorite zone in the game. So thank you all for watching. Catch you all next time. Don't be sheepish, people. Bye!